This big wheel bike works great, better than I expected. But there are a few problems, mostly noise.
Pretty loud, this thing.
If I run the chain loose it sounds better, but the chain falls off, so I 3D print this chain guard. My 3D printed chain guard didn't work, it just rubbed on it too much and it was even louder. So I've taken the back wheel off it and taken this piece out, which the wheel connects to, and I'm going to make a sprocket carrier for a smaller sprocket. The problem is I can't even buy the sprocket I want because they don't make them that big, so I'm going to have to get one laser cut. I won't get laser cutting done over the Christmas break, so I 3D model a drilling jig. I 3D print it and mount it to some 5mm aluminium plate. Then set up a pivot point to keep everything aligned. Then set everything up and bolt it down so nothing moves. Then I just go around and drill all the holes. You could do this with a battery drill as well, but way easier in a drill press. Once I have the holes drilled, I just go around and cut off the excess. I then clamp the 428 sprocket on top to copy the tooth pattern. Once I do one, I just go around and do the rest by eye with the grinder. Time for the test fit to see if it works properly. That looks like it's sitting not too bad. Perfect actually. Every time this chicken hears noise, it's got to come in and see what's going on. So now I'm jigsawing out this. Just trying to put this to the fastest setting now. Wrong way around. So you got to go big to small. Biggest pulley on the motor to smallest pulley on here, and then biggest pulley on here to smallest motor on here is top speed, which is 2,940 RPMs, which is about 1/10 of what I actually need. But let's see if it works. I need a 100mm hole to locate the sprocket and 3D printed jig to trace with the router bit. I use a router bit with the bearing on the bottom to trace out the 100mm hole. A hole saw isn't accurate enough for this, and I don't have access to a lathe. Try and get this thing to focus on here. There's my cut there, nice and close to the plastic ring. But actually, now that I think about it, the ring will be 0.2 undersized because that's what the 3D printer seems to do. So I'll see if it fits. I've modified this now. I've welded a plate back on here, machined it back to accept the smaller sprocket, and cut some weight off the sides of this and retrued it up. Now I'm going to remove this huge sprocket and put that back together. There we go. It fitted on there pretty good. I just had to put a chamfer on because it was that 0.2 undersized, but with about a 1/2 mil chamfer on there, it's managed to squash itself up. It even peeled some of the aluminium up just to let it sit down nice. So happy with that. Perfect. I still think these teeth are going to skip, the chain's going to skip these teeth, but this will do until a laser profile one arrives. Brand new bearings in there. Oh, so smooth. My next step is to take the motor out, and I have to move it in line with where the chain's going to be. This part's going to be pretty hard. So somehow I've got to cut all of these welds off without destroying the engine mounts too much. I mean the motor mounts. Need to sharpen my hammer. I mean, grinders are really great, but when you get these awkward brackets and stuff, they can't fit everywhere. So you cut what you can, hammer it off. That's why you need those guys have those sawzall things. Haven't got one of those, not yet. Hooray, bike's all back together, everything's lined up. I've welded the engine mounts back in, motor mounts rather. New chain is on there, sprocket looks like it's working. But it's pretty rainy outside. I don't quite want to take it out in the rain and get it all dirty. Tomorrow's supposed to be sunny. Hit the reverse. That's way quieter. So I've got heaps of stopping power on the back. It locks the wheel up real easy, but actually you can do that with the motor. So I might not even need back brakes in the future. Onto the motor, it's a QS138. It's got a gear reduction on it. I think it's 1 to 2.2 to 1 or something like that. And then off that I've got a 14 here, 65 here. I can't remember what the final ratio is, but it needs to be pretty low because the tyres are so big, obviously. Here's my key there, which is almost in a dumb position because I can probably hit it with my knee. And just standard motorbike bars. There's your left brake, right brake. You got your 3 power modes. You go slow, medium speed, fast. Fast is like, that's for doing wheel stands and stuff. Hold that button and twist the throttle, it backs up. This is my cool little titanium piece that PCBWay made me. There'll be a link to them in the description. So this is a seat subframe top cover. It's all one piece made out of 3mm aluminium. It's actually strong, reasonably light. The frame is too heavily built. This section from here forwards is off a CBR 600 and the rest is just handmade. But in the future I can use much lighter tubing, chromoly. This frame is way overkill, but you want to make the first one quite strong because I'm going to be rough with it. Yeah. We're having massive problems with power cutting out. I think the BMS can't take the current draw, so I can't even barely do a wheel stand now without it just cutting the power, which is really frustrating. Yeah. Whoa. Ah, cut out. Actually had a great time riding this bike around with my family during Christmas in low power mode, because any higher it'll trip the BMS, which is only a 300 amp one or 72 volts. And what I'm going to do now is upgrade to 96 volts 500 amp BMS, and that means I need the battery to match it. This bike needs to be lively like that because of the big wheels. You want to be able to do wheel stands at will and things like that, skid it around, you know, you want it to do dirt bike things, and you need quite a bit of power for these big wheels. So that's what I need to do next, and I need you guys' help really. So if you can join my Patreon, that'll help me out a bit, and I'll get the money to be able to pour back into these projects. Got some ideas for the cyber bike as well. Thanks for watching, I'll see you in the next one. 96 times 500. Oh, 48 kilowatt. That's going to be interesting. What do you think, Dad? We're looking for some jumps. There's some over here, but got to take it easy.
About to stop.
Yeah. Run the tyres over. Also, if you want me to make you one of these things, but a way better one, and you've got the money to back it up, send me an email.